So if anyone's got any questions, guys, obviously chuck them um, in the chat, microphone, whatever you feel comfortable with. Um, I'll start off with this one from yesterday, um, just because it was the most recent, I guess. And it's a fairly nice one to be fair as well. Apart from it didn't actually tag me in, so I'll just delete that. If it'll let me. We're running slow tonight. Delete. So I was looking at obviously Bitcoin for a buy. Obviously, it's super bullish pretty much every time frame. Obviously, it's heading upwards. Um, I think that's the all-time high there, is it? I think, yeah, yeah, this one here, all-time high there. Um, so, so I opened my laptop, well, tablet yesterday, about this time here, I think, somewhere around about here, about seven hours, seven-ish, something like that. Obviously, I noticed this trend line here. That was the first thing I saw, and then obviously I went diving a bit deeper, and I see this trend line sweep. Obviously, this is filled an imbalance in here, um, and then obviously this is all. I'll go into that soon, but it's just a pretty much balanced price action up until this little green box here. I'll show you. I'll get to that in a minute. Um, so we've had an imbalance fill, break of structure, obviously sweep of liquidity as well, break of structure, and then there was another build up of liquidity, and obviously there was a decent trend line building up to the top. Not the not the cleanest of trend lines from the point of when I see it. Um, Obviously, I normally like them to be pretty much bang on. So one touch, two touch, just shy here. But obviously, I mean, I've not altered this line from when I drew it, um, so obviously from the point of about here, obviously as you can see, it's not quite tagged me in, but then it's come and made this an actual perfect trend line. So obviously the two perfect touches and then the extending of the drawing of the line then tags it perfectly. So after it touched this, uh, obviously at the same time it filled this imbalance in here because when this was playing out, I wondered if it would happen quick, if it would sort of fill the imbalance and the take the trend line at the same time. So which means me take profit would have been a little bit less, but it didn't. So once it had done this and then it obviously started retracing, I was still confident. I was sort of still hoping at that point it was. So I'll just remove this a sec so I can see. I don't think you guys can see that. So after it touched this imbalance line, trend line, sorry, for the third time, made the perfect trend line. I was sort of still hoping it might come down, tag that, and then obviously take the trend line, but it hasn't. So it's now taken the trend line. So this is targets have gone. This has been taken. So targets are gone. So I've now deleted this pending order. Um, so I'll show you the imbalances and things like that in these and get a bit of a better picture of why I was wanting to take it. So obviously trend line, sweep, break to the upside. So obviously I marked this blue box as a um obviously just as a zone for me to look into to try and find a lower time frame imbalance. Which I did. Obviously it was as you marked it to the bottom, pretty much the bottom of the green box inside there. But once I get down on the second shot, you'll see why I then made it bigger. Um, So I'll jump straight down to the 15 second. So obviously we've got this big push here. So initially, like I say, the box was somewhere about there, but obviously once you get down, you start to see that there's not imbalances lower. It looks like there's possibly a little bit here on the 15, possibly a bit down here, which I'm sure will disappear in a on the lower time frame. Yeah, so that one disappeared. I don't like the candle changeover. It's not big enough. This is huge, obviously. 10 second. Maybe that one still. But I'd have been split. I'd have been splitting the risk anyway. So if this one had come and got wiped out, I'd have been trying to take a buy from this one down here. Tiny bit of imbalance in there. Possibly equal lows as well. And possible trend line. Maybe. So yeah, if it had come lower, I'd have been waiting for a reaction out of there, see how it played out. But obviously, we're on the 5 second time frame, so this is why my entry was here, just above the imbalance being filled, because obviously Bitcoin's got quite a little bit of spread to it. So I wanted to make sure it fits, even if it filled that, it would have tagged me in just on there. So, and then obviously I didn't really think it would come lower than this wick. I think I covered this low here, this wick here in my stop loss just to allow a little bit. And obviously this candle here, that is a huge candle for a 5 second candle. So I was pretty adamant that it was at least going to react out of this, even if this wasn't the main area for the trade. I'd have maybe just, if it had tapped it in, I'd have moved the stop loss pretty quickly, maybe just to be safe. I don't normally do it, but I wasn't too happy with all the price action below. It's quite high up, and I could have easily missed some in these down here. So I'd have maybe considered moving stop loss early.
What's that big candle like on the 1 second, Lee?
It's about the same, I think, if I remember rightly. I don't think it's quite as big, but yeah, it's still huge, mate. Like 1 second for all that is huge. Like, obviously, Bitcoin's wild at times in it, so fuck's sake. Is that $2,000 or something? No, it's 200 in it. $200.
Yeah, look at the price on the left. You can see
Yeah,
480 to 680, give or take.
yeah. So yeah, pretty much $200 in a second, like 1 sec, and it's retraced a bit, you know. So something happened here. This is huge. So pretty much effectively, I missed a trade by a second. If because I think it tapped somewhere about halfway, somewhere about here. So I don't know. It's obviously it's a second. I can't. Unfortunately, training view don't allow me to have the split seconds. So that's that's possibly why I missed this one.
Maybe you can upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, have you not looked at the ticks? Have you looked at the tick data, Lee?
No, mate. No.
No, I've never looked at that, but I think that's probably the next level down.
Oh, really?
A tick, in theory, is every time the price changes. So that could be more finer data than just a column. I haven't looked at it, mate. No, it's in the time frame somewhere. It's a time. It's instead of a time frame, you get tick date. Oh, those things. Maybe you've got to pay upgrade to get those. Right. So every one tick is the smallest possible change in price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
probably then what you need to do is you need to see a lot of ticks in one place.
Yeah,
and that means prices change very quickly. I've never seen the charts. I don't know how it works, but that's what a tick means.
Ah, that is.
Let's leave day sorted tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of,
I'll wait till the next sale.
yeah,
I was
I'll
gonna.
wait till Black Friday
I was gonna say we've
next
just
year.
missed it. Black Friday. I'm fuming now.
Yeah.
You probably have to pay $5,000 for it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
that
obviously
is
I pay the. I've got the top package, and the fact that it's not on there is
no,
pretty annoying, I guess.
we haven't got the professional packages. We still got the amateur packages.
Yeah.
Let's tick.
Cue the 2 pipette stop losses.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously, as you can see, it's just shy. So, and then obviously, my target was to take the trend line. There's an imbalance, or there's a zone favoured in here. Obviously, it's above that one. Obviously, it's gone high, even higher now than I thought, but that would have been a nice 1 to 30-ish for what, 12 hours, something like that. Roughly that there. 16 odd hours. To be fair, I mean, I'd maybe think still be if it had touched me in, I'd maybe be still in it. I'd maybe moved my stop loss under here or taken 3/4 off or whatever because there is a high probability. Well, there is a possibility of make a new high overall. 2,000, 110,000, sorry, is the news I heard. So possibly equal highs there as well. So yeah, possibly a new high, or it might trick people into it and sell off after that. But I don't really see too much is equal lows here, possibly as well. So it might not make it, but
if the whales decide they're going to move it, then the charts are
yeah,
relevant, isn't it?
yeah,
I think that's the theory I heard was that they're keeping it above 100 per thousand for a little while to let all of that money buy in.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Uh,
when I was thinking about it earlier, I thought I can't see them wanting to drop below the 1,000. You know,
oh yeah, they'd take it down. They'll absolutely
100,000.
bleed it.
Yeah. And
They'll,
obviously,
they'll,
my entry. I mean, I don't normally look at like the quarters numbers or anything, but it was my entry was at about a nice number. So yeah, the 1,000, the 100,500 mark was just inside of my entry. So I was hoping it was, like I say, just going to tap me in and clear off, but it wants to be. I mean, this will be the fourth. This is the fourth one this week that's minutely away. So yeah, so you 100,500 just inside the entry. So, like I said, I was really hoping that it would be the one, but it won't, and it would move on to the next. So, like I say, this happens to me fairly often. I'm beyond being annoyed by it now because I'd be annoyed all the time, but at least once a week, to be fair. Again, I think this one was one that has kept me out by spreads, was it? I think.
Leave a pending on that overnight.
No, sorry. I don't think it was that one. No, it was this one here. It was the earlier one in the week.
That's good, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, is this the actual DAX? Is it then? Because
do you know what? I just call it the DAX because that's all I've sort of known.
Nah,
I think it is.
It is the DAX. The thing is that DAX is a trademark from the exchange, yeah?
yeah,
So unless you pay the exchange to use the trademark, you can't call it DAX. You have to call it something else. But it is
right.
the
Okay.
DAX.
Same as like US 30 in the Dow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, because I see people calling it the DAX, and I'm like, well, this is German 40. You know, I don't know.
It's the same thing.
I thought it was similar. I didn't know if like, let's say the DAX is just the German economy, and this is like the 40, the top companies. Do you know, like the S&P and the like US 30
Right.
or against
No,
US 30.
it's
I
the
didn't
same
know if
thing.
it's yeah. Sort of makes sense, but because
There's also the 30. You see
yeah,
German 30 because it started with 30, then added 10 more.
yeah, yeah,
It's
makes
it's
sense.
Adidas and Volkswagen and Mercedes and
Yeah,
BMW and
yeah,
SMP's the biggest company.
yeah,
Siemens are big in it.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, at the minute, like it's becoming possibly one of my favorite pairs because it seems to give some every like 2 or 3 days, like a good one as well. So obviously this was another one. Obviously I've just marked an imbalance in here or couple and a point of interest. Um, I can't remember why, but I think it just stood out to me. So I don't think it took liquidity out, but it might have. Um, but obviously I like this push as well. I think it takes a high to the left as well.
Yeah.
Possibly that one, I guess, or its own. Um, but yeah, that big impulse up, obviously it leaves imbalances anyway. So obviously, I mean, I don't just set a pending off the first imbalance fill anyway. So obviously, I just mark me imbalance fill, and then obviously along the lines, it's created trend line here, and then obviously it's taken it, filled the imbalance that I marked in this, obviously the area that I liked, and then it's gone on to break 1 minute change of character. Pretty much exactly the same as before. Obviously, it takes liquidity, filled the imbalance again, or wanted it to fill the imbalance. And yeah, as you can see,
That was unluckily.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it even creates more liquidity before actually tapping it again. So equal lows. I should have maybe seen these and gone just cover that.
Yeah,
You know,
you could have put your entry on those equal lows, couldn't you?
yeah, or just below because obviously I didn't
Ah,
anticipate it would take it, but
yeah.
it's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, mate. It's like I say, it happens at least once a week at the minute. So,
Yeah. All right.
I'll just show you. I'm probably going to find out now that I marked it up wrong. Yeah, I don't even know what I've marked it from. Oh, I might have gone up the time frame actually.
Yeah, I'm still trying to I've just been
Yeah, oh,
studying
yeah,
like the anchors and whatnot, and I'm still trying to figure out what it reacts best out of.
yeah. So,
The cleanest
I mean,
imbalances all the time.
I'm assuming if I'd have marked the top of this candle, maybe I'd have got it. Maybe should have spotted this. Maybe. Um, but yeah, obviously I marked it from this big candle here. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is the thing with obviously um with it being obviously the German stuff. Nothing's open till like is it 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock our time? So it's dead. The price if you're trying to catch something from the nighttime price action, maybe that's where I'm going wrong, and it's just a bit crappy for that time of the trying to catch anything. But,
Yeah, nice.
yeah, see, top of that candle would have tapped me in just nice. So
It's a
it's
grey
one of the
market, Asia market.
yeah, it's yeah, it just is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, like I said, I should have maybe spotted them and just gone just below them, knowing it was going to actually take them and then sort of clear off. I believe, and then obviously I had imbalances up here marked and things like that. So maybe a trend line across here as well. Just spotted liquidity line. Sorry, Matt.
That's the Stephen.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just looked at it and you give me a new name.
Confusing, bless him.
Dumb money line. That's what we call it. Dumb money
Yeah,
line.
yeah. It's sort of I mean it is a trend line because obviously price is trending off it, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's
But it's about what we'll use it for, isn't it? In
yeah,
this
yeah,
case, yeah.
yeah.
I didn't understand where you were marking trend lines up all over the place. I thought I don't even believe in trend lines. Yeah, I don't think I don't think people trade off. But
No, no.
when you guys showed me why, then it started to make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, obviously this is why.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
yeah.
Clearly there's something going on there. That's not random, is it?
No, no. So
Yeah,
I'll do this. I'm sure I've seen someone's on that's fairly new. But obviously the idea between, well, the way I view it is obviously we've got three touches here. Um, Obviously this is liquidity, so trend lines, so equal highs, equal lows, and trend lines, whichever way they're facing. So obviously the super obvious ones like this one, it's super clean. People would see this, go, oh, this is a strong resistance
yeah,
or support or whatever. Um, Sort of like by the third or fourth touch, people are then going to go, obviously your dumb money will be thinking, oh, this is a banker, this is certain to bounce off that line and go in the direction that they want. And then obviously, so this touch here, the fourth one, obviously it's sucking everyone into thinking this is a super strong. No, this is a super strong resistance line. They set up their orders thinking it's going to come down here, and then obviously it
you've been
absolutely
in that for about a
smashed.
minute.
Yeah, I mean, look at the size of that push as well.
Bang.
So don't mess around. No prattling around. They've gone. We know people are going to be selling off that line. Absolutely annihilate it. Don't give them chance to move stop loss or anything like that. Just
Yeah,
absolutely obliterates it. Causes this huge push here. Yeah. So it basically just a trap that just traps. So that's the idea between liquidity. So obviously you've got three touch here. If they extend that one, I'm sure that one gets obliterated as well. Yeah, just well, not quite. It gives them a little bit, but turns around. This one here, equal lows, gets obliterated. So yeah, this is obviously why we wait for the sweeps and things. So because a lot of the time is with the manipulation, there's a good chance now that this has obviously started breaking to the downside, it's taking liquidity. The manipulation's gone in for a buy, and then they've sold off the market. So there's a good chance there's possibly something going to form from around here, this zone here, where the manipulation from both sides happens. So manipulation up, manipulation down. So if we can, I think that's an all-time high, is it not? Yeah.
yeah, probably. It was on Thursday or Friday. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, all-time highs are difficult to trade, I think. Um, but if we start, I mean, what I will be doing is I'll mark some imbalances, so there'll be something around here,
Yeah, I've
probably
got one
one
in
up
there.
here, something like that. So I'll mark these imbalances. If we get a build up of liquidity, fill an imbalance, and I'll wait for a 1 minute change of character. But I'll have my eye on this sort of area at some point this week, no doubt. Especially now it's sort of taken this low. I'd rather it comfortably take this first, but it has technically broken to the downside now. So, um, yeah. So
When
I
I've
was
been
just thinking,
when I've been back testing this, I found like been trying to find the best areas to trade out of.
yeah,
And after them moves have played out,
yeah,
and then it breaks to the downside. Say that the break to the downside now, and then it's like a good area to start selling from because
yeah, yeah.
that move's obviously already played out.
Hmm.
And then it's break past it. I've been finding them quite successful, to be fair.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if this wasn't an all-time high as well, I mean, I'm fairly sure that this would have filled an imbalance in price to the left. So it's always, I mean, all-time highs are always a bit difficult to to trade from because there's that extra risk that it's not filled anything across here, do you know? So you can't say there's no targets above because there's nothing above. So, but obviously this is why we obviously make a plan, build a rules, want the highest imbalances filled and breaks to the downside, which give us all obviously nothing's guaranteed, but it gives things more in our favour to be more right than wrong. So yeah, like I say, I'll just keep my eye on that. It won't surprise me if we get a trend line build up from down here or something over the coming days, maybe tomorrow. Probably won't really look at anything tomorrow, but wrong one. Oh, maybe get a trend like that. Maybe get a touchdown in that, and then a sweep. Possibly equal lows in here as well. So and then just break that down. Yeah, equalize there. I try not to drag any of my drawings along because if I do it on the thingy, it moves them. So maybe check that in there, see what's going on in there. Oh, I knew I was going to do that. Maybe not. Thought I had, so I'm going to move that to center of the screen. Yeah, I don't really see anything in that. So I might just use that as liquidity to move lower. Possibly equal those here as well. Time that midday. Only small, but maybe we'll get something looking out of here. Something about the right time as well. Half eight-ish, between 8 and half 8. Obviously, it's filled this imbalance, so main one here.
Good reactions out of the 7 and 8 o'clock candles.
Yeah, well, that's why I was just looking at this one. I think it's mate. It's just after 8 o'clock, I think. So
Yeah, hold a lot of volume, don't they?
yeah, obviously it's a big down push as well and big up push. So possibly somewhere in here is equal lows again. I think is that maybe not, but maybe. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on something around here. I'll see what. I'll just delete that. Do my heading. Deleted. See what we've got in here. Maybe that, like this as well. Like there. Like that.
You don't usually like the gaps, do you, Lee? You don't trust the gaps.
No, it's so. I sort of I'm sort of looking at them a little bit differently now because I used to for the especially for like apart from like I said like the last month, maybe even less than that, couple of weeks, I've started adding the gaps in sometimes. But before that, for the previous like months and months, whatever I've been looking at, the price action that I was always relevant was always on show. So
Yeah.
yeah, but like now it's yeah, started either almost filling in the blanks myself and just going, well, it's just a feeding efficiency rather than
Yeah, it just means
the
there was no trade
important stuff's
in
there.
that time. That's all it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not really a feed inefficiency. It's probably accurate. It just means there was no trades in that second or 5 seconds.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of them things, mate.
Yeah, I know. It's
So
tricky, isn't it?
it's not something I was ever taught. So it's obviously it's some of the. I mean, because no one's ever looked at the seconds charts until I was like,
Yeah.
show me, you know. And then
Yeah.
I went and I sort of like figured. Obviously, I haven't fully figured it out because I don't know what happens behind the scenes of these big orders or whatever. But I went and figured out and going, oh, this is tapping into this imbalance on the 5 second. This is doing the same on, you know, it's visibly you can see where it's
Yeah. I just think about it.
filling sort of thing. So I've sort of put it together myself and figured it out myself,
Yeah.
and then obviously I'm bringing it to you guys. So I suppose that
So
technically
the
make that
gap.
tech. Sorry, go on, mate.
So the gap means nothing happened in that time interval. There were no trades
Yeah,
in that time interval.
yeah. But obviously there's a time delay between the actual broker and the feed as well. So
Yeah.
you know that's
Yeah.
what I mean by feed inefficiency. That there could be something that happens on the actual live.
Yeah, but you know what you'd have to do if you wanted to be really finicky? You'd have to go to another broker and compare them because they wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, well,
Because each feed is only that broker's feed, not other brokers'
yeah,
feeds. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. So I know on Market Open, obviously, which is in an hour or two. I know Forex.com, their feeds always fill in the Market Open gap, whereas
Okay.
FXCM doesn't. So it closes
Right.
on Friday, and where it opens on a Sunday, there's a gap. Whereas on Forex.com,
Yeah.
they will show a big candle if there's a gap, you know. So
Right. Well, they can't both be right, can they?
no, well, this is the thing. It's as far as I'm aware, the market closes. I know it can be traded over the counter or something, I believe, on a weekend, but it's done sort of done without a chart. So stuff does happen on the chart over the weekend, but if it's done by paper, like the system won't know until someone puts that in anyway on Monday. So
Yeah, I wonder how it works. I don't know. To be honest,
yeah,
it's the same as overnight, really, because it's closed overnight as well.
hmm hmm
Yeah.
yeah,
Whereas, that's the problem with overnight stuff. So it doesn't matter unless we're using that data to create interest.
yeah, yeah,
That,
yeah,
like you said, that's when it gets tricky. It's interesting how it goes on.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Also, don't
100%.
forget the brokers can manipulate the feeds as well.
Yeah,
They can put anything they
absolutely.
want in the feeds.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, prop firms definitely do, I believe. So
Yeah, I think.
even if it's not the feeds, it's the spreads and the slippage that they can
Yeah,
adjust to take out whoever they want, pretty much.
yeah.
So
They can tweak the
as
feeds
if
on left.
trading's not hard enough anyway. You know, you've
Yeah,
got the people that are trying to offer you money to just
yeah.
trying to do you in. So self-funded the way for me, mate. I can't
Gotta
see
be.
any other way of being self-accountable and less stressed. I know,
Yeah,
obviously, I know risking your own money is stressful, but obviously, this is why well, you would build up sort of like relatively slowly, start at a safe number, build up. It might take longer, but I mean, I think I'd be suicidal if I was Tom last week. You know, I'd be on a murdering spree. I think, mate, if I was honest.
yeah.
I think it made you a better trader doing it all self-funded anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree, and I do think I think there's a huge difference as well between like I've always approached trading from the aspect of obviously if I trade prop firms as well or are self-funded, I've always I've always gone in with that mindset of I want one account and I want to keep it for as long as I can and I want to grow it or take money from it if it's a prop or whatever. So whereas obviously a lot of people tend to get stuck into the mindset of trading the prop firm. So let's say you can afford to buy 10 accounts and you're not gamble. Obviously, you'll use some form of strategy, but with the intention that you might blow 6 of these accounts and you'll get a good payout on one of them, and then that'll be able to buy another 10 plus money left over for you. And I don't think it's sustainable, especially if prop firms get regulated and the entry level to it becomes more difficult as well. And obviously, prop firms, I think a lot of their rules now are coming in place to stop you being able to do that sort of trading anyway.
Yeah.
Which is why obviously they're bringing in like you can't touch out within 2 minutes because you'll breach. You can't do it. You've got to have this on in 15 seconds, and it's all to trip you up. So you can't do this quick like grabbing of money, I guess, you know. So I think props are making that harder for people to trade that way, but
it's a lot of hard work to have to balance a whole bunch of accounts as well.
Yeah.
And that's time and effort you can put into being a better trader.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick swig of my tea, guys. If there's any questions, if I don't know who's on, if there's any questions, please send some over or anything you want me to look at, guys.
I'm just looking at the DAX now.
Ready for tomorrow?
Well, I've just come to the realization it's sort of needs. It's enough for me to get on with. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't sit there all day looking at charts and whatnot. So when I'm at work and stuff, one chart is enough, and I'm seeing to find ways around trading it. So just stick with it really, and just learning how it moves and getting used to it really.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. Yeah. I think structure-wise on the DAX as well, mate. I think we've got obviously structure's not everything, but it's a fairly good indicator at times. So we could obviously price could come all the way down to here, this level here, to be honest, without being considered a break of structure. I know obviously it's broken on say like the 1 minute or 5 or whatever, but I think this is definitely the 15 at the minute. So it sort of makes sense that obviously these little lows that I've marked up, it really could come down into not that one.
Yeah, there's some nice imbalances down there, which I was waiting for buys.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, whenever it was.
We really could see a good buyout of somewhere out of this sort of zone. Yeah. Like I say, all the way up to this low.
So your blue zone there, you've got Mark Lee, you've got 2 imbalances in it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Are you happy with the higher one to be taken to create your chots? You don't insist on the lower one of your 2 imbalances to be taken.
I'll have to show you, mate, because I can't remember. Obviously, I was happy at the time because I tried taking the trade off it. So,
that was the zone I was on about actually.
I mean, maybe.
That's like kind of like your split risk type of strategy, really, isn't it? No,
yeah,
no, because it's the setup before
you go
into the 1 minute.
This is just the first imbalance fill. So
yeah,
I'd have been happy with either.
First one.
It literally filled this one to the dot, mate. So
yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, either. I'd have maybe even if it had filled this one here, I'd have maybe been happy. Maybe not this one being there, but
because you've got time as well, haven't you, at this point? Because you still got to wait for your 1 minute change of character anyway. So you've got time to have a look in.
Yeah.
So if it had turned around and it wasn't in an imbalance, would that still be something you'd have traded, or did you want to see it taken in balance?
No, I want to see it filled in imbalance, mate. So
okay.
It's because obviously it come back and it broke 1 minute structure. I think I don't know the statistics on it. It's maybe something I should start writing down. But if it had not filled this and broke a 1 minute structure, I'd look down this on the lower time frame to see if the imbalance should have been a touch higher.
Yeah, you looked where it went to and checked that.
Yeah,
yeah.
But if it half filled it and then broke 1 minute structure, for me, I would be going, no, that's possibly a trap. It's left all this left to fill. Even if I'm wrong, I'd rather miss the trade than give the market an easy sum of money from me going, oh, what if? But like the system, my system's telling me like this is now risky, So, which is why obviously on the Bitcoin trade, it left half of that imbalance. I'll just get it up a sec. Yeah, it's left half of this imbalance, so I won't be looking for a buy from here because to me there's still a big chunk of this under here. So I might be wrong, but I might be right. And I'd rather not be in the trade than get in it. And what if,
What ifs will wipe your account?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So the what ifs are where you'll take your loss. Obviously, I think your what ifs. So let's say at the minute I'm about. If I count the ones that have sort of like this one, I would count this as a win because it's done everything I wanted it to do. It's met all my confirmations. It just didn't hit the entry I had. So that's maybe a me issue. So I technically count this as a win. I'm easily like early to mid 90% win rate, but that's because I'm not doing the what ifs. Like if I start adding the what ifs, then I could easily drop to say maybe a 50% win rate. I would catch more trades, but I would also catch far more losers. So, and obviously the losers are what causes the cause of stress. Trading
mindset.
Maybe try mindset, trading psychology, if that's what you want to call it. It's
probably confidence as well.
So I just think if you just do things right, you make things easier for yourself, and then it sort of like snowball effects to your success as well. So there's just no point in not doing the right things, And I think if I was now to go, oh, I'll just put this on what if, and then you might fall into that category of you might keep then doing that. Oh, just what if, and like as Tom said, what ifs might blow your account.
Yeah.
And you can almost guarantee that if you're going to put in a manual error, so that you might put in the wrong lot size, it'll be on one of these what if trades anyway. So I just don't. I think if you weigh up the risk, for me, it's not worth it. Maybe I say it all the time. Like, I'm not scared to put any trade on. Like, I'd feel fairly comfortable now just going and risking like a quarter of my account because I know I can grow it again. It's not an issue, but I just don't want to get into that bad habits.
Being in trades is quite stressful and quite tiring, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So you're better off not being in them if there's no point.
Yeah. And Leon says it. It's like, it is stressful. Like after, if I'd have been in this today, like I'd be exhausted now.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a stress that, I could work 12, 14-hour days, but if I'm in this trade, it feels like I've worked a 12-hour day and I've sat on my ass all day or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, just doing the right things and it just makes life so much easier. And I don't, if this would have lost, but it had all the things I was looking for, then I don't care, but I'd be damn annoyed if I'd have gone, what if and lost? Like that affects me more. So
the whole point of the rules, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why we make them, mate. Obviously, I repeat myself again, but I spent what? Doing me 4.15 one, I spent about 14 months like making it, adjusting it slightly, back testing it. 14 months of my life, pretty much not taking any trades, and then started trying to take the trades and things like that. And I made this trading plan around it. So I'd spent like literally hundreds of hours making a strategy, refining it, making a trading plan, and figuring out like what my best numbers was. Spent all this time doing the mathematics and setting up me equations and all this sort of crap. Just like I couldn't. I really don't see the point in going through all that effort to then go, oh, maybe this one will work though. If it meets none of your rules, like to me, it makes no sense.
Yeah, when you put it like
that. Well, yeah, and honestly, I always say like your trading plan is your trading plan and your rules are obviously they're all taken from your back testing and your forward testing or live testing or whatever. Like that is like that bit of pay if it's on a bit of paper, you've made that based on what makes you the most profitable trader in the market. So by not following that, you are actively trying to not be the most profitable you can be. Like, and we're all here to try and be the most profitable. So, obviously there's some sort of like little. Some people might like. Let's say it says that your most profitable is 1 to 60, but your mindset can't taking say if it goes 1 to 10 and then it loses, obviously you have to figure out between your mindset and what your trading plan and your data shows. So obviously there's a balance between what you can cope with and what is the most profitable, I guess. But you need to find that nice balance yourself still. You still test that. But ultimately you need to you base these rules around being the best you can be. You wouldn't obviously Ronaldo in football terms, absolute machine of a man. I mean, he's great at free kicks. You wouldn't tell him to go practice free kicks all day, and then when he gets on the pitch, right, you're on corners, mate. Like that's effectively what not following your training plans being. Like it's practicing for something and then going and doing something else when it counts. But that's my rant anyway. So
yeah, that's that comment.
I love a good rant on a TFT live.
Yeah, I might join Leon's tomorrow just to join in some rantings.
Matt does them as well. It's great. And actually, if ever one of their lives is getting a bit boring, you just touch one of their buttons and they go off on a rant, and you get 20 minutes entertainment.
Yeah, I might join Matt's as well and do because you can draw on the screens, can't you? I might do that.
He hates
that. I did it to Sean the other. I think it was last week, or it might have been the back end of the week before. What I do is when I join Sean's lives, I put the live on my phone and then I sit on my tablet and mark up my own stuff while listening in. And I went to pick up my phone, and I'd accidentally press the annotate button, so I was drawn a load of lines just as I was picking my phones up, and I wasn't even aware that I was doing it. And he was just like, what the fuck? What's going on here? Who the fuck's doing that?
Because you're logged in using the TFT password, yeah.
Well, I was on my private Zoom, so it was just me. He knew it was me. I think it took him a minute, but he figured out it was me. But yeah, I was just I just heard this. Oh, what the fuck's going on? So I was looking at my phone, going, "Oh, someone's drawing on his screen." And then he was like, "Lee, it's you." I'm like, "Oh shit, sorry, mate."
You must have been logged in with the TFT password. That's the way it must be.
I don't know, mate. It's
yeah, because you all use. I've done it as well because I've done a couple of lives for Simple Strategy once or twice. So once you've got the TFT password, the only way you can be TFT in the boxes at the top is using that password.
Yeah.
You've got the same one.
Yeah.
I've got it too. I could sneak in and draw on people's chart.
Yeah, I might do that this week.
But it was like TFT 2022 when I looked in. I doubt it's changed.
Yeah. No, I don't think it has. Yeah.
24 now.
Yeah, no, it would have changed.
No, definitely not. It'll be the same. I can't remember what it is now, but yeah. I think there's two accounts, and one of the passwords is something really dodgy. I can't remember what it is now. I've got it written. I've got it down somewhere, but it was. I remember reading it going. It's like I love cock or something like that. I can't remember what it was
though. What did you set that up?
Hey, oh yeah,
who set that up?
Yeah. I wonder. Right, I'll call it there, guys.
Thanks, Lee.
Unless there's any more questions, but
all good.
That's cool.
No worries, guys.
No, that's cool. I'll rewatch it tomorrow.
Sweet. I'll catch you guys in the Discord anyway. I'm gonna go have a coffee and chill out. See you guys later. Cheers for jumping on as always.
Thank you.
See you later.